They always say if you want to get to know somebody, ask the people around them. Well, in order to get to know Tiger Woods, I don't know who that is. My guest today, Jeff Benedict, managed to speak to 250 people for a total of 400 interviews, went through about 300 some odd press conferences Tiger Woods has done, and reviewed over 100 hours of footage of Tiger Woods playing along with his partner Armin Katayan to produce this book. Right now, probably the most complete book about Tiger Woods that's ever been written. It's called simply Tiger Woods. It's on shelves now. I've worked my way through it. It is absolutely outstanding, and I'm so happy. New York Times bestselling author Jeff Benedict joining me this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
This is wonderful work, and you interviewed so many people. The one person you did not interview is Tiger Woods, which is not surprising. He doesn't usually submit to these sorts of interviews. So I guess that's my first question. Why do it when you know you couldn't speak to Tiger himself?
Well, we knew going in we weren't going to speak to Tiger, most likely. Yeah. Yes. Usually biographies are done on people that are deceased. It's rare that you get to write a biography about a living subject. And when you get to, normally the subject doesn't participate in the biography. Mm-hmm. In Tiger's case, he doesn't like to talk to the media anyways. And so we figured that would be the case. In his situation, though, I think it makes for a better book, that we have a more complete, true, and accurate portrait of him. And all the people that we interviewed around him, from his kindergarten teacher to his first girlfriend to his swing coaches, it's all the people who had intimate access to him. Yeah. Those are the people who really know Tiger Woods. And mainly, we tried to get people, in all those hundreds of people we interviewed, we mostly wanted to interview people who'd never talked before. Yes. And it's amazing how many of those folks are out there.
I'm guessing that is the answer to then the next question. As part of your preparation, I think you read just about every other book that had been written about Tiger Woods. So what were you trying to shoot for to make this different? Is it just the depth, the completeness of the profile?
Yeah, biographers have a responsibility to read everything that's been written before. 20 books, thousands of articles, court transcripts. You want to read everything that's out there. But our biography it's his whole life. It's a 360-degree look at his life. Most of the books that have been written about him were about sections of his life. There were biographies written about him the year he turned pro. Yeah. He's 21 years old. I mean, there's only so much you can say in that book. The other thing is, no one had really looked at the first half of his life, which was from birth till he turned pro, which are the most fascinating years, because that's when his genius is created, his greatness is created, and the fundamental character flaws that are going to play out later in his life, that's when they're formed.
All coming from his father, mostly?
Well, I would say all coming from his parents. His dad is such a dominant figure. He takes all the oxygen out of the room. If there's a microphone within a mile, he finds it. It overshadowed the mother, but Tiger's mother is a true Tiger mom, and she put a killer instinct in him.
And that's something I don't think a lot of people knew. I think most people by now who are familiar with Tiger Woods and his biography understand the role that Earl Woods, his father, played. Coltita Woods, I was very surprised to find out how much she was trying to instill a killer instinct in him.
It's brutal. I mean, Earl would always refer to Tiger, he said, I want you to be a cold-blooded assassin. It's an interesting thing for a father to say to his son. But his mom would say things like, when you have your opponent down, you got to step on their neck. Wow. You got to show no mercy. These are the kind of things that you think, that's like Karate Kid, right? When the sensei is teaching the guys to do bad things. That's the way she was with Tiger, and this is a sport. Golf is a collegial, gentle game. It's not boxing. But that was Tiger's approach. He had a violent swing, and he had parents that trained him to treat the sport like war. No mercy on your opponent. In fact, his father taught psychological warfare training, and he used those techniques when Tiger was a teenager.
And I think I got through about 60 pages of this book in different sections, and probably ran across 4 anecdotes where somebody introduced themselves to him, and he literally did not acknowledge it, not even a look. That is a profound level of awkwardness you don't see in most people.
It is a profound level. One of the scenes I think you might be mentioning is Tiger, when he started going to Augusta, when he turned pro, he would stay in a house, like all the golfers do that. Yeah. And the woman whose house he stayed in was a woman named Peggy Lewis, school teacher, like a lot of people in Augusta, rents her home out for a week during the Masters. When she found out Tiger was staying in her house, she got so excited. She showed up after the Masters just to shake his hand and, you're staying in my house. And in front of all the neighbors and all these people that were around, she introduced herself and said, "Hi, I'm Peggy Lewis. You're staying in my house." Her hand out, and Tiger just looked at her, dead silence, never shook her hand, and then walked off and left everyone else looking at her, embarrassed and humiliated. Yeah. Those kinds of anecdotes, I think, they're illustrative of where he was at that point in his life.
Yeah, it is telling, and I would love to get more. We're out of time, but one last thing. If you want to know how complete the dive is, the deep dive Mr. Benedict and Armin Catane did in this book, it starts by interviewing the man who dug his father's grave in Manhattan, Kansas. You get a little insight out of that, too. That's what journalism's all about. Mr. Benedict, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Again, Tiger Woods on bookshelves now, 512 pages, I believe.